recorded.
Okay. Any last? We are going to have a very short class today, have a handful of announcements, and pretty much then we'll be done.
Wait, why is there nobody here?
Yeah, good question. I figured half the class would skip today. So part of the reason.
People are just gonna take the 16 minutes.
We shall find out. I'm guessing there will be lots of trickling in of people. Okay, so yes, last day of class here. Quick announcements for us. The quiz is collecting them right now. I will have them all graded for you in Sakai by the end of the day. And so if you are in the 7 people who have submitted your Twitter Postgres indexes, then all the grading stuff will be done for you by the end of the day. And whatever's in Sakai again is what's going to get entered into the portal for your final grade. And then, yeah, so the non-graduating students, there's the Twitter Postgres indexes assignment plus that final project, yes. And I'm assuming everybody's going to get the caveat task done, both of the type speed and the reading, watching stuff. Number 2 here, so I will not be entering any late penalties for people on the Twitter Postgres indexes assignment, so you have a little bit more flexibility with that if things are computationally not going as quickly as you would like. But again, for the graduating students in particular, everything has to be submitted before Friday morning because that's when I have to enter the grades, and it's just can't be done later than that for you all. So please get those things in by Friday. If for whatever reason you're at the stage of this homework assignment right here where you've mostly done everything but code's running too slow, one hint here is that you can take advantage of caching to make your runtimes a little bit faster. The simple way to do that is just run the script twice, and the second one will always be faster. Super quick reason about why that's the case is that the very first time that your code accesses any of the data, it's going to store it in the hard drive, but then Postgres will be storing it at different levels of RAM internally, something that's invisible to you, but it actually will not touch the hard drive on subsequent accesses to the same data at all. And so it'll go much faster. And in particular, right now, it'll go much faster because you won't experience contention with other people for the hard drive resource. So it's okay to run it multiple times and just take whichever one's faster for your submission. If also, for whatever reason, you can't get the runtimes low enough, then an alternative submission method is you can submit your query plan instead of the actual runtimes. And so that's the output of the explain command. You put the output of the explain command into those results files. And if your output looks good enough to me, then I will give you 14 out of 16 points. So the problems or the assignments out of 32 points, 2 parts for it, each worth 16. So if you can't get the runtimes for both of those 2 parts, you would lose 4 points total, just a little bit over a letter grade being a B+. And at the very least, you'll have to have no sequential scans for me to consider it good enough. That's probably also what I'll consider good enough overall, but I reserve the right to change that a little bit. And if it's a super ugly query plan, I might give a little bit less than 14. Any questions about any of that stuff? Any of the administrative-ish things? Ava?
Just wanted to check back in about the question 4. You said it's okay with that one.
A number of you I have given waivers on different parts of the assignment to have, in slightly different ways depending on the different people. The most common waiver is that there are 5 problems, and only having 4 out of those 5 pass the test cases. And so that's not a general waiver, but that is for specific people. If you want that waiver, you think you need some sort of waiver like that, just so you don't have to redo a whole bunch of computation stuff, then you have to talk to me. But yeah, so it's not a general waiver that applies to everybody, but it's something that I'm willing to hand out if you just talk to me. Any other questions, administrative things? Okay, then I have a question. Yes. Yeah, so the question is about what exactly is due by Friday morning, and the answer is that anything that you want me to have in your grade has to be to me by Friday morning. So that includes, yeah, the extra credits. And again, I'll be grading, I'll sit down at least once a day between now and Friday to grade the submissions of the Twitter indexes assignment. And so the earlier you get that in, then the earlier you'll know exactly how many points you need to get whatever the grade is that you want to get for the final end of the class, and you can know how much extra credit you need to do. Okay. Yes, another question.
The SQL quizzes and like other quizzes that you post on the extra credit, are we still able to get the 1 point for completing all those levels? I don't remember.
Yes, all of the extra credit is still valid, things that you can do. The only thing where there was a time limit on the extra credit was the original Bandit game. And so at this point, only 1 more extra credit from the Bandit game is possible, but all the other extra credits are still fully valid. So there's still something like 15 to 20-ish points of extra credits that could be gotten in theory.
So what did you mean about the Bandit? We haven't started able to get extra credit or that?
Yeah, so for Bandit, 5 points were possible, but only 1 point per week is possible. So only 1 more Bandit point is possible. So you could still get 1 point from doing a little bit of Bandit, but you can't complete the whole thing. You'd have to go on to something else. Good questions. Any other questions? Anything administrative? Okay. Then I just have a short, we'll do 10-minute highlights of stuff we did in this class that you all should take away from this class, and that'll be it for today. So main highlight here, main thing that I was hoping to instill in you all is about how to have good habits as programmers. Good habits make good programmers here. So the first one here, using your tools effectively. And so I am very opinionated on my tools, as are most programmers. And so I like Vim, and I like the command line, and I like the shell a lot. Depending on what you do in your career, you may or may not continue using these tools. But whatever tools you do use, you really do need to master them. And yeah, if you do master the Vim command line shell tools, continue using these sorts of tools, people will think very highly of you. It's like an automatic plus. When people are evaluating you, they will jump to better conclusions. But no matter what, if you're using whatever tools you're using and you haven't mastered them, you will be judged by that. Nobody's like, if you're at an interview live coding something, nobody will tell you that they didn't hire you because you weren't using hotkeys and VS Code appropriately, but they will not hire you because you're not using hotkeys in VS Code. If you're, say, in VS Code, there's a little triangle button that you press to run things. If you're always using your mouse, spending like an extra second to press that triangle button instead of pressing F5, then people will not hire you. And they won't tell you that, they just won't hire you if you're not using your tools appropriately. And that's because master craftsmen, whatever field you're in, whether it's woodworking or programming or music, whatever you are, master craftsmen master their tools. And so if people have not mastered their tools, it's a sign that they are not master craftsmen. As a sort of opposite of that, contrapositive of that, is that if you want somebody to feel good about themselves, if you want to compliment them, say like in an interview situation, you want people to think well of you, if you compliment their tool use or say, I don't know how you did that in the command line, and can you tell me? Then they will like you. That will make them feel good. Okay, so tool use effectively. This is like a habit that saves you maybe seconds every time you use it. So it's not a lot, but that adds up over the course of your lifetime. How to save hours over like occasionally, every couple of weeks, how to save hours using Git in everything. So every time I start a new project, just instantly before writing any code, Git init, and then I'm always adding and committing. Same way that you might be in the habit of saving a file. I am in the habit of adding and committing those files to my repository and uploading them to GitHub or wherever else I'm storing them. I also set up continuous integration for absolutely everything that I do, and you all should as well. Rely on your tools. This is a sort of deeper example of tool use, relying on your tools to check your code for you so you don't have to do things manually. We did a lot of things. Well, let's see, a lot of things involved Git in this class. We didn't do a lot of super fancy Git stuff, but version controlling your versions is one of the big things that came up a lot in this class, and how not putting versions, say in requirements.txt, caused things to break a lot. And being in the habit of spending 5 seconds typing this out and hitting enter to get your requirements.txt file with actual versions inside of it will save you hours in the long run of having to debug why SQL Alchemy 2.0 is no longer backwards compatible with 1.4 and why things are breaking in weird ways. I sort of passingly mentioned about don't uploading credentials to Git though in this class. Literally billions of dollars have been lost in companies by uploading passwords to AWS or to their OpenAI credentials to Git. So this is the one thing that you shouldn't upload or include in your Git repository in any way. Lindy software. I talked about this, used this phrase months ago. Haven't used it since then, but the Lindy effect is that in software in particular, the longer a piece of software has been around, the longer it will be around in the future. So things like Shell, invented in the 1970s, over 50 years ago, and it's not going away anytime soon. It's probably going to be around for the next 50 years, at least. Similarly, SQL, also invented in the 70s, is going to be around for a long time still because it has been around for a long time. And tools like SQLite 3, remember that the author's goal of SQLite 3 was to remain relevant past the year 2050. And so this is the type of software that you want to be using, type of software that you want to learn how to use if you ever have the choice, or the type of software that you want to be deploying in your systems if you ever have the choice, because it means that the software is going to be stable. You're not going to have to make any changes in the future because the software broke. And whatever things that you learn, you'll be able to apply them in the future. Another thing that we did a long time ago was this game over here of Pokemon or Big Data. I think this is a Pokemon. Oh, no, I've got it wrong. Arvados is Big Data. And so all of these technologies come and go all the time in big data, and you'll be wasting your time learning any new technologies because they will go away right away. Yeah, so whatever you learn will still be valuable throughout your whole career. And another sort of good reason, well, definitely a good reason, but a new reason, is that the old technologies will be in ChatGPT's training data, and so it will actually be able to help you and write code for you. But if you're using new technology, it won't be able to. Fun aside, since we're talking, or I was just talking about Pokemon here, is that a couple of the quizzes, I put up Claude playing Pokemon, and then eventually Gemini playing Pokemon. Just this last weekend, Gemini beat Pokemon Red. So LLMs are advancing here. You can see it's got all 8 of its little badges up here, and then went and beat the bosses. And now he's just going around collecting all of the miscellaneous items and leveling up the Pokemon.
Did they ever figure out if they were cheating or not?
Did they ever figure out if they're cheating or not? Yeah, that's a good question. So depending on how you define cheating, they are cheating or they're not cheating. There's no like human intervention here anyway in this Gemini Plays Pokemon game, but it's not a fair comparison with Claude playing Pokemon. So Claude is still stuck over here in the same spot, which is right after Mount Moon. Close that, open over here, admit. So yeah, where Claude is. So here's your starting point in the Pokemon game. Pokemon Blue, you go up here and you beat 2 gyms, come over here. Here's Mount Moon. That's where Claude has been getting stuck and can't get past Cerulean City right here. Gemini has gone through all of this map multiple times in the right order, complicated things to do. But the reason that Gemini is able to do this is because in the top right corner up here, it's been building a mini map, and you can see access to the mini map up here. And anytime navigation's needed, Gemini uses Dijkstra's algorithm. It's known that Dijkstra's algorithm is extremely difficult to implement inside of an LLM. It's not known actually whether it's possible. It's just known that it's very difficult for different reasons. And so since Claude doesn't have a hard-coded Dijkstra's algorithm built inside of it, it's definitely struggling with the navigation aspects. Depending on how you conceptualize Dijkstra, it can be quadratic or something else. LLMs are known not to be able to do algorithms that are above quadratic. Certain quadratic algorithms they can do, certain ones they can't do. And so it's not really known whether Dijkstra's is in the can or can't of LLMs. And it sort of depends on exactly how the problem's formulated. And I don't know, it's hard to take something like this and figure out if it's formulated in the right way to make it applicable or not. My prediction about LLMs in your all's future is that we're going to, in the next, say, 5 years, see a lot more integration of hard-coded Python algorithms like Dijkstra's interfacing with LLMs. And all the sort of CEO-ish people who are not like the CEOs of OpenAI are not predicting that LLMs are replacing their workforces. Microsoft CEO, for example, famously said that he does not believe that LLMs will cause GDP to increase by more than 10% in a year in the next 10 years. And so that he thinks that they will continue to need Microsoft programmers to do their work. But a lot of that work might end up looking like integrating hard coding stuff with LLMs like this to make progress on tasks. Okay, so that's using Lindy software, having fun with Pokemon. Last thing here, biggest thing, don't break backwards compatibility in your software. That is an evil thing to do. This CPU guy, 64, whatever his name was, that changed Docker dash compose to Docker space compose and decided that Docker volume prune, that its behavior should change. He is, in my opinion, one of the most evil people in the world. He has caused countless hours of pain for you all, and you are only 30-ish people here in this class when you all don't have billion-dollar companies resting on your shoulders. But there's been tens of thousands of people who have experienced the pain of these changes here. So don't do that for any people who depend on you. Don't break backwards compatibility, and remember your versions, hard code your versions, be nice to your future self 6 months from now so that things don't break when somebody else broke their backwards compatibility. Anybody have any questions, parting thoughts, things that you want to share? Okay, it was a pleasure having you all this semester. If there's ever anything else that I can do to help you all in your careers, then feel free to reach out and let me know. I would be happy to help you all. I will be up in my office for the next 2 hours. You all are welcome to come by, get questions asked, answered, and similarly, 9 to 11 for the rest of this week, and for the rest of next week, I'll be in my office. You all are welcome to come by, get questions asked and answered. The rest of today, please, you should have gotten an email at some point from somebody about class surveys. I do read all of those and have adjusted this course in particular a number of ways based on previous student feedback. And so I will be adjusting the course for future students based on whatever you all choose to say in that survey. So please fill it out. I'm gonna, if you haven't given me your quiz, then please give it to me before I take off. But I'm gonna head up to my office and let you all finish that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations to all of you who are about to graduate here in just a week. Depending on how this went.
Will you be at the CMC Math Data Science?
I will be at, so the Thursday, there's a CMC Math Data Science graduating group, and so I'll be there. I'll also be at graduation and see any of you all there.